Felicia. Felicia's getting the velvet Liger cut, full tail. That is the service request that her owner requested, right? Start with the little happy hoodie. If you look at the title of this video, she is NT, she's at natural temperament. Her stress levels for panic or aggression go anywhere from 1 to 3. 3 means she can be a bit of a grumble butt. 1 is perfect, 2 is pensive, 3 is not happy, right? So, and it goes up to 6. So she's between levels 1 to 3 at natural temperament, right? You could eliminate level 3 if you wanted to, using the all-natural pre-treatment calming cat oil that we recommend. It's in the link in my bio, the MaineLion.live. If you scroll halfway down, you'll see a bottle called Social, right? And if you're trying to get information on the leaf products, which, because, you know, no vet is allowed to talk about it or advise you about it, go to the Fear-Free Cat Grooming Guide, which I guess I should change, because apparently if vets aren't allowed to talk about it, and Fear-Free is a vet-based business, then yeah, we'll probably have to change the name of that guide to something else, like Low Stress Grooming, Low Stress Cat Grooming Guide. Anyway, we're going to be using the Fuzzy Fix Blue Wave Clipper, and the blade, the velvet blade that we use, is a 7F by Wall. It's a competition with ridges. It's a competition blade, right? All right, here we go. Yee. Here we go. We got the bed on standby for all of her tricky bits, which is her legs and her belly. We are expecting a pickup for the cat that we just groomed and posted. And we'll just turn the sound off if we have to check out a client. But we'll keep the camera rolling. Alright, one of the perfect... It's Grinch. Oh, you Grinch. This is Felicia. Felicia's getting her velvet Liger cut. That's what we call it. We give every... Hey, hey, hey. It's Catwoman. Catwoman. How are you? What's going on? Anyway, we have to come up with different names of the haircuts so that, you know, the owners and the groomer, me, is on the same page regarding what it is that they want. So, how's my day? Okay. How's your day, Kevin? Oh, yeah, I don't know what that was all about. I would never, I mean, as nice as, I don't know. I've never seen that person before, so I would never do a mod thing unless I consulted with you first, right? Yeah, it's gotta be a democratic process, right? A democratic process, people. All right. So for the butt shave, we're going to pick up the safety clipper. We're definitely not using the 7F to shave any cat's butt. It's already the forbidden cat grooming blade, right? Yeah. It makes, I guess, owners of pet salons nervous if their groomers are going to be using the 7F, because in the wrong hands, you will fillet that cat open if you're not experienced with grooming tools. Even if you are, you could fillet a cat open, right? Very important to use butterfly touching with this particular blade, the 7F. Yeah. You're not going to be forcefully digging in or doing anything. It's very light butterfly touch. It's Felicia. She's a MaineCoon. I used to work at a MaineCoon cattery, and the Liger was their favorite. They would ask that I put a bunch of their MaineCoon cats into a Liger cut, and then keep the tail natural. There we go. All right, now, what are we going to do now? Put her on her bed and start on the tricky bits. Well, that's by design. That's by design there, Sari. Part of any Liger or tiger cut is getting the perfect paws. These are tiger paws, you could say. Right? She's already starting to grumble. Which is kind of what you would call skimming in the pet industry. You're just skimming that blade over the pad, right? And now we're going to fluff them just a little bit. Oh, do you want to be our new video director? Really? Alright, well, I think the camera is fine, just the way it is, but yeah, we'll move it just for you, right? Just for you. Apparently we have a video director in the house there, Grinch, right? There's one paw. She's the grumbling. I got that space heater on because most MaineCoons love anything heat related. Well, I call them MaineCoon cats, lizard cats, for a reason, because once you introduce heat, they turn into like a crocodile. That's the way a crocodile suns themselves. Yeah. MaineCoons love anything warm. I see dead people. I see dead people. What movie was that from? Everyone knows that, right? It was filmed right here in this area too. I see dead. The director of that movie, yeah, he lives 20 minutes down the road. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, people. French. I'm getting a translator ear button so I can hear what half of these French comments are, right? It's supposed to be only 15 bucks. Can you believe that? 15 bucks just to get the translator earbud piece. Amazing. Amazing. And one of them is actually waterproof. All right, here comes the tricky bit where it goes down the legs and the belly. She's got her happy hoodie on, so hopefully that's going to be enough to keep her happy. She's grumbling away. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Waka waka. Waka waka. Alright, this is a little trick I do to extend the front arm. Thumb is behind that elbow, and then the finger, and then you just kind of squeeze it, and then it extends it straight out. Not your baby, right? You're very welcome. A lot of people get confused. Did you see what just happened in Hollywood? On Sunset Boulevard? Some man thought he could walk down the street abusing his dog. Everyone lost their mind, jumped out of their car, and started beating the man. Yeah. He was brought up on animal abuse charges, but he's now going to sue the people who, they only like hit him with a stick for about a minute. No big deal, right? But people have had enough, right? People have had just about enough of the complacency of homeowners, pet owners who think they're so complacent, they think they can just walk down Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood and start beating their dog. Really? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I'd like to see how those charges are gonna stick for the people who saved that dog. Unfortunately, the dog is in animal control now, but I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people lined up who are going to want to adopt that dog because it hit the news, right? So maybe one of the people who stepped in to save the dog will decide they're going to want to adopt the dog, maybe. Ah, here we go. You hear the monkey sounds? You sound like a monkey. You sound like a monkey. Alright, this is really kind of loose on her. What if we used an extra small and used some of that compression that comes along with an extra small happy hoodie? See if that has any kind of an effect on her, right? To help get her through her grooming. Right. There we go. Alright, almost there. Good. Calls out. Calls out, Grinch. Meow. Hi. It's Nina. Nina's in the house. Hello, Nina. This is Felicia. This is Felicia. Or, no. Not really. Cats love their haircuts afterwards. Right? They love it. Well, this particular cat is grumbling right now. I mean, I wouldn't say she's perfect. Her stress levels indicate that she's not just relaxed. Right? No, it's actually at a levels 1 to 3. Like it's going up to level 3. She's grumbling a little bit. Her resistance in her arms is not where it should be. Trying to extend the front legs of a cat is a true litmus test regarding where their stress levels are at, right? So she's mildly perturbed, right? Yeah. There you go. Alright, last legs. Last legs. She seems to be a little bit more sensitive to her back legs than to her front legs. We're keeping our tail natural. So we gotta do something with this tail. I just tucked it under the bed. Sometimes it's brushing the fur the opposite direction to then go back over it with the clipper will help to get a better cut. Wow. Wowza. Wowza. Yeah, just mildly. Pretty much. Yep, I can imagine. We got a lot of Persian cat owners. I just don't think the breeders are honest. Not all of them are upfront and honest about the upkeep and care that would be needed and required in order to get a Persian cat, right? I think they kind of just let the owners figure it out for themselves. Yeah. Knowing full well that that may not be the best way to, deal with that situation. Now, when I used to work at the MaineCoon cattery, every baby that was ever adopted out of that cattery came with a binder, like a binder with all of the different grooming recommendations, all of the different grooming tools that you can use. Like very, very, like they really went out of their way to try to help educate every single pet owner, right? Whereas you got other breeders, nothing. You don't get nothing. Oh yeah, well, one of the best MaineCoon breeders in the world, actually. They won best in world. You know how hard that is to get? That's like winning the Super Bowl. They won best in world with their MaineCoon. That is not easy to do, people. I've not mentioned the name yet, so how could you have heard of them if I haven't even mentioned the name of the cattery? Gen X. What are you talking about? I mean, we have everything I'm saying on video. No. No, every cattery has a name, right? They're usually not going to have a generic name called MaineCoon cattery. They're going to each cattery would have their possibly possibly possibly. What am I trying to do right now? Anyone want to know what I'm trying to? We're trying to extend the legs straight out, which can be done a couple of different ways. Oh, she's doing her monkey. Did you hear her monkey? So, now we know when she starts sounding like a monkey, she's about ready to do her little thing, right? What is it? It's a cat. Yeah. Mmm. How do I get her to say so still? I'm working with her natural temperament. I'm working within her natural temperament. There's certain things that she will get perturbed about. And usually when a cat starts to get perturbed, you just redirect. You go to something else. You don't just keep doing the one thing that is perturbing the cat. Unless you're just locked into that get her done cat grooming training. And it's irrelevant how the cat feels about their grooming. You're just getting the cat groomed regardless. Yeah. But normally the cat's going to kind of backseat cat groom you. They're going to let you know if you're doing something not according to their wishes. They'll let you know. And then as long as you're listening and paying attention and you're redirecting and they know that you're listening and you're trying to do something different, they will be willing to work with you. When you completely just dismiss what the cat has to say, you don't think they notice that? Yeah. You think it just goes unnoticed by the cat? I was supposed to pick some of those up just to see how effective that would work, right? Wow. So as long as they know you're paying attention and you're listening to them, it kind of helps to keep them calm. If you are completely dismissing what they have to say about it, that is when I think things start to escalate and things just start to get worse, right? Because apparently in the animal world, no means no. No doesn't mean maybe or I'll think about it. It means no, right? Right? There. And how do we know when Felicia has had enough? She'll start making monkey sounds, right? That's her, that's how you would read her, right? Ready, steady, here we go. Let's start with the pink paw palette degreaser on the head and mane. It's a form of no. right? Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, we got a groomer's in the house. Groomer's in the house. Did you, how are you? Is your name Charlie? That's awesome. Yeah, well, I have evolved through the years. I mean, I used to be, I did get her done cat grooming for 7 years before I said, wait a second, there's got to be a better way, right? And sure enough, there was. I just needed to look for it. Right? There we go. Get her done cat grooming is when you take cat grooming training from a certain cat grooming organization. They teach you, to get the cat done. They train you and drill you with that mindset. That's the hardest thing for most people who try to groom cats is they can't finish the grooming. That's the main issue. If you don't believe me, try watching a groomer go live with a cat. 9 out of 10 times, that cat's not getting finished, and they're sending the cat home. Right? Yipper. Why? Because they don't know the techniques. They don't have the training, right? So it's important to get as many techniques under your belt if you're going to offer cat grooming, because cat grooming is all about techniques, right? Yeah, it's really important. She's like, what's happening now, people? You're getting a bath. You're getting a bath. You're getting a scrub-a-dub-dub. 2 kitties in the tub. Taking a bath could be so much fun. Scrub-a-dub-dub. 2 kitties in the tub. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Anyway, the story that just went viral. Man walking down Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, beating a dog, right? Everyone drives by, see what's happening. Everyone stops, gets out of their car, and starts beating up the man. So this is a new precedent because now the animal abuser, who thought he could be as complacent as he was to just think he could just beat on his dog in public, he was arrested and charged with animal abuse, but he's got a lawyer. And his lawyer is going after the people who beat him, even if it was just for a minute. Yeah, so I would like to see what the precedent is going to be regarding what happens to the people who are beating up on the animal abuser. They weren't like punching him, they were just hitting him with a stick, kind of making him feel the same thing that his dog felt is basically what they were trying to do, I think. So, anyway, that just happened. See what happens. Where are you going? She's like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Nah, you're going to get past the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Mm-hmm. That would be me. That would be me. She's got a bunch of dander in her coat, so we're going to use a little rubber nibby. That's what I call these things. Waka waka. Thank you. Thank you, Daryl. Wham. 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 Waka 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 waka. Wham. Wham. Are we leaving? He said, yeah. You got the most princessy meow I've ever heard in my life. She's like, am I a princess? Yeah. Purebred MaineCoon princess. Yeah. With the prettiest eyes. Yeah. With the prettiest eyes. Pretty's eyes. How often? I'd have to check her file, but I think she was in 6 months ago. Maybe, I'm not sure. Some people are quarterly, some, you know, everyone's different. Everyone's different. We're different. We're different. We're different. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to get your finishing shampoo done. I forgot. I forgot. The finishing shampoo for Felicia. We're going to use the La Pooch Puppy, the female version, right? Really, really pretty shampoo. If you know Sally Hawks in the pet grooming industry, this was her house shampoo, right? For a reason. And then I'll usually add a little bit of Chubb's Bar or Orvis to that. Now would not be the time for that owner to come and pick up her cat right now. I'm about to the look on her face. You have RBF, resting bitch face. You've got WTF with the F. And then you got this look. The audacity. Is that what we're getting? The look that she's giving me? The audacity. The audacity. The audacity. The audacity. I don't know. Question was, does she have a twin? No, you could contact the breeder. Oh, thank you for that, Magetta. Thank you for that. We have a cat translator in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know. See what happens when you do something over and over again, like thousands of times? You actually start to get, in theory, good with what you do, right? In theory. It's not always the case, though. I did meet a woman who had twice as many years in the grooming industry as I did, groomed cats, but yet she wasn't grooming under any kind of instruction or training, right? Groomed cats for 20 years, but she was also a dog groomer, right? So she came to meet me one day during my free nail trimming services, which is every Wednesday night from 6 to 7:30. I told her, just come on out and we'll do a meet and greet, right? It became, because I can see just right through everything, right? As far as what techniques are being used and what they're saying. I can, you don't understand when I watch a groomer going live, or when I watch some of these posts of cats being posted after the grooming, I can literally see right through everything. And it's clear to me exactly where that cat groomer is, right? On a scale, like up level of quality or whatever you want to call it. And in her case, she didn't really seem to know a whole lot about anything. Even though she had been grooming cats for 20 years, it wasn't under any kind of tutelage or training. And she did something I thought was really bizarre. And to me, it completely, she failed a huge, huge litmus test when it comes to cats and cat grooming. she failed, right? She wanted to take, she was trying to propose something to me regarding a business deal, and I was just like, no, 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 we're not gonna work with you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Alright, that should take care of that. Usually you only have to wash once if you use the pink paw paw as a gracer on the head in Maine, but in her case, she didn't pass the finger test. The finger test just means that the coat, quality of the coat is not where it needs to be. Right? You can just tell from the fingers. Hello. Waka waka. You did it. You did it. Wee. All done. You did it. Do we want to put a happy hoodie back on your head? Want to do a happy hoodie back on your head? She's like, I'm a princess. Yeah, we know. Green-eyed princess. Little green-eyed princess. The rarest of them all. We know she responds to compression, so we're going to use the extra small. And then just rinse her up, and then wrap her in a towel. And get this party started. Get this party started. She's saying no to that. We'll go one step bigger. There, that's the small. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Other side, and then you're done. Alright? She's like, whatever you say, lady. You gotta get your butt up. You gotta get your butt up. You did it. Yes, you did. All done. Okay. And wrap up. Have you ever heard such a princessy meow in your life? She's very princessy. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I did it, Ma. I did it. I did it. She's already clean. No, she was covered in oil and dander. Yeah, that's why she got her wash. Yepper. In this salon, we're not, we're not parrots. We don't just repeat what we hear or what people tell us. We actually talk about what we know, right? Let's heat up the dryer box. Get that nice and warm. My cat loves his bath. He's always loved his bath. He's a color pointed, seal point Himalayan. I have found that with a lot of color pointed cats, they're really good with their baths. But here's the thing, folks. You know, because we're going to talk about what we know. We're not just repeating what we heard, right? I used to be a dog groomer. I specialized in giving baths to dogs and then learned how to do the finer points of grooming, breed standards later, right? And just as many dogs, when I used to be a dog groomer, hated their baths as cats. Just as many dogs who love their bath, same as cats. There is no difference, people. Other than when a cat reacts to something they don't like, it can be just a little bit more extreme than how a dog would react when they don't like something, right? So, see, we're going to talk about what we know, right? So, third generation dog groomer, right? Who went into cat grooming. Who used to own her own dog grooming salon as well, right? So, we're going to talk about what we know. Do you know Google is the worst cat groomer ever? Google doesn't really seem to know a whole lot about grooming cats. Just FYI, just for the record. Yeah, Google kind of sucks. All right, ready, steady, here we go. Here we go. Good girl. All right, let's clean her ears. See those big old ears? If you don't know what a happy hoodie is and you're trying to dry your MaineCoon, you might want to get 3 of these because they're very super sound sensitive, right? Very, very sound sensitive. Oh, here's the pickup. Perfect timing. She was just in her bath about a second ago. So, perfect timing. Let's check out the cat client and then we'll put her in a box for now. Right? Alright. There you go. Good girl. Alright, I'll cut this down so I can check out the cat client. And then we'll be right back. Okay. Be right back. And we're back. That's Felicia. So we started her off with the dryer box on low, and then I just turned it up. So she seems okay with that. We'll just leave her in there for a few minutes. So this is when I get her cat carrier ready and vacuum the floor and do things like that. Thanks, Catwoman. Thank you for all your help. Thank you so much. Warm up the heater. I'm gonna warm up the Feline dryer. This little thing here. You know, that's only 80 bucks. It's only 80 bucks on Amazon. I know like that. Alright, let's do this. Waka waka. She said, I'm your best friend. She said, I'm your best friend. I know. I know, you belong to me. Da, da, da. How are you? This is Felicia. Oh, whoops. That was an almost baby. That was an almost baby. Almost. Here, we'll use this instead. We'll do that one instead. That's a handy little thing to learn how to do. You just go to the Home Depot, get yourself an electric contractor clamp light with a wide base. It's about 15 bucks now. And then you get rid of the cord, turn it upside down, and then put your little hair dryer on it, and then you got a little stand dryer. Right? Yeah, it's handy. Handy. It's handy. Look at it. Alright, you're going to turn that off. We just needed that to do a quick dry for me. Now, we're going to keep that little space heater going. A little bit of dry heat going on. Right? We're going to put a little something something on our head for her final finishings. You know. There. A little something something. That doesn't really fit her very well. We'll go back to this one. The small. Wow. Do that. There. Alrighty then. For the final finish, we're just going to go back over everything. So with pet grooming, pre-cut, wash, dry, final finishing. 4 steps that you're usually going to find with in the pet grooming industry. In which, you know, every dog gets: pre-cut, wash, dry, final finishing, right? For a lot of dog groomers who advertise cat grooming, they're going to eliminate 3 of the steps, do just 1 of the steps, the pre-cut, turn around and give you back your cat, but charge you full price for the grooming, right? Something they would never be able to get away with if they tried to do that with a dog client, right? Because that dog owner would just find another groomer, right? Cat owners don't know any better, right? They're just thankful that they found someone who would work with their cat, right? But here's the part I don't understand. If you're eliminating 3 of the steps of the grooming, but you're still charging full price for it, how do you sleep at night? Just easily? Really? Okay. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Even if it's a little old lady on Social Security? Yeah. No problemo. No problemo. I know, you belong to me. Alright. Now all we gotta do is some tricky bits. Finish her mane. And then she's there. Alright. Put this on. Just in case she wants to use her teeth as a way of communicating. Right? on her side. She got her happy hoodie on. I'm gonna take this little pal brush, go in reverse. I know. She's like, I'm a princess. Yes, you are. A green-eyed princess. Yes, you are. Miss Grumblebutt. She goes up to level 3 for some of her grooming. 1 is perfect, 2 is pensive, 3 is Grumblebutt. Not happy. How do you help a cat who goes up to level 3? You get a hold of the common cat oil. That's been available for 6 years now, which no vet in America can talk to you or advise you on because of the DEA regulations and restrictions on leaf products. Really? Okay. Unless your vet went to school for holistic medicine, they're not allowed to talk to you or advise you on CBD products, right? But yet it's been available and online for 6 years now for pets, right? Yeah, there's no THC in any of the products, so I really don't understand the regulations at all. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? I don't quite believe it, to be honest with you. But I started taking a poll and asking every vet, why aren't you talking to your clients about it? And I was getting a different answer every time. Well, if you're taking a poll, the answer should relatively be the same across the board regarding why, but it was a different answer every time. I got a different answer every time from every vet I asked that question, why aren't you talking about the leaf products to your clients, right? So, and then I finally heard back from one of them that said, well, we're all under DEA regulations and restrictions, meaning they can't talk about it. So, and I don't quite understand that, because there is no THC whatsoever in those products. And if there is, it's so trace, it's irrelevant, right? It is what it is. The sad part is that's where most pet owners get their information from, is from their vets, right? So withholding one of the best products come around in forever that's going to help cats with all kinds of issues. Yeah. And not even talk to them about it because they can't. That's just a sad state of affairs, isn't it? Yeah. Lots of information as it is gathered is being added to that link in my bio, the Fear-Free Cat Grooming Guide, which apparently I now have to change the name of that, because apparently Fear-Free is a veterinarian-based company founded by a world-renowned veterinarian, and if he's not allowed to talk about leaf products, then I better change the name of that Fear-Free Cat Grooming Guide to something more like Low-Stress Cat Grooming, because and that would also explain why Fear-Free never came on board with the use of CBD, which I was shocked and surprised by, but now I understand why they can't, right? you hear her doing her monkey sounds, she's communicating at what level her discomfort is, right? When the monkey sounds get really loud and high, she's about ready to snap, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's gonna backseat cat grooming me. Right? So are you all, but I'm gonna listen to the cat. I'm gonna listen to what the cat has to say. Right? Waka waka. Waka waka. We just gotta do her last bit on her back legs and she's all done. This is my default setting for the back legs. Default setting just means the technique with the highest yield, right? The highest odds that that technique is going to work for that cat. Doesn't necessarily mean that's the technique for her. Yeah, she's probably better off in the bed because she didn't like that at all. So, for you to continue to keep using a technique that the cat has said no to and just dismissing it, that can really frustrate a cat, right? So, we just quickly changed the technique and went to the bed for the legs instead until she decides that this is no longer acceptable to her, right? But the fact that I listened, she understood that, right? When you just dismiss a cat and you're like, irrelevant, you're getting groomed whether you like it or not, how you feel about it is irrelevant. That's a really bad way of, in my opinion, teaching people how to groom cats, right? Because it's important. Most cats are willing to work with you, right? You just gotta find their tolerance level. And in her case, we got one leg left. That's all we need is one leg. She gave me a second. Wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough to get most of that done. We're now redirecting, going to a different technique, right? Until she says no to that, right? A cat is going to continue to say no to the techniques that you use until you find the one that works for your cat. And then they're going to be like, yeah, this one. This is the one I want, right? There. How do you think a cat says no? They're going to say it vocally, they're going to say it with body language, they're going to say no in so many different ways. And when you continue to keep doing the same thing over and over again, it forces the cat to escalate how they communicate. And they realize you didn't pay attention or listen to them, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to escalate their form of communication. They're going to then go to the next level, which could be hissing or swatting, right? They're going to turn it up, right? That's a normal progression of things, right? Some cats start off that way. And if they start off that way, chances are, it doesn't matter what techniques you know, that cat is just not exactly a candidate for low stress grooming unless that cat is pre-treated by their owner, right? That's usually what that means. Right? Alright, say goodbye to Felicia. She's like, I'm a green-eyed princess. Yeah. I'm a green-eyed princess. I ain't no dude. What are you talking about? I don't mean them. I'm a princess. I'm not just any princess. I'm a green-eyed princess. I'm a green-eyed princess. Yeah, she's getting a little trigger happy. I want to do a little bit right there, but I'm not going to until I get this on, just in case she decides she wants to, you know. There. When you go to get your hair done, do you have to get your doctor to sign off first before you can get your medical haircut? Really? Can we break that down and make it make sense, people? Or do you have to get your doctor to sign off when you want to wash your 2-year-old or dog? You have to get the vet to sign off? You all have been kept in the dark regarding cats, cat grooming, for a reason, right? Probably so you don't terrorize your cats, right? Or to prevent you from getting hurt, right? Yeah. You did it. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So the next time you see a dog walking down the street, you just obviously got put in a grooming, right? Why don't you ask that owner what the hell's wrong with their dog? If their dog is sick, or, you know, find out what the hell's happening for that owner to get a haircut for their dog. And see how that goes across, right? See the reaction that that dog owner will have, right? We're just doing a light dusting. A little light dusting. There, you did it. All done. You did it. Alright, there you have it. One velvet Liger cut. Liger means head and mane of a lion, body all the same length like a tiger. And then the velvet indicates the length. So you can do a 10 Liger, a velvet Liger, a comb cut. You can get 3 or 4 different length options. They're all color coded, right? So anyway, thanks for joining us. We have one more cat, and she's going to be getting the Asian lion cut with a full tail. She's not here yet, so usually every cat, once they arrive, they get 15 minutes of fell-away first. So it's going to be starting in about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on when the owner arrives with her cat, right? So, all right, thanks for joining us. Thank you so much, Grinch. Catwoman. Where the hell's Cheyenne? I haven't seen Cheyenne. Anyway, my dynamic duo, thank you so much. And if I don't see you for the next live, I hope you have a wonderful night. Time zone and all. Yeah. All the best. See you next time. She cleans up well, doesn't she? Yeah. And then her stress level score is her SPA score. SPA means stress for panic or aggression. We abbreviate that to SPA. So if you look at the name of the video, her SPA score is anywhere from 1 to 3, depending on what part of the grooming you're on, right? 1 is perfect, 2 is pensive, 3 means grumble butt, not happy cat, right? What is the best treatment for a level 3 cat? Again, if you go to the mainlion.live, scroll down, halfway down that link, you're going to see a bottle called Social. That is the best way to help treat a level 3 cat, all natural, right? And if you want to take it one step further, go scroll all the way down a little bit further and look for the Fear-Free Cat Grooming Guide, which we're going to now switch the name to like Low Stress Cat Grooming Guide. You're going to see how the CBD products, how that's broken down, how to use some of those products, how to find your therapeutic dose for your cat, things like that. You know, all the things that your vet can't talk to you about because they're under strict guidelines and restrictions from the DEA, right? So apparently that's the latest as to why they won't talk to you about it, right? So, okay, bye-bye. Say bye-bye, kitty. It's a bye-bye, kitty. See you next time. Thank you.